In this video, we're gonna talk about taste pathways. We're gonna talk about taste organ, that is the taste buds. Then we're gonna talk about the nerves that receive the taste sensation from the oral cavity. Now, the taste or gustation is a sense that develops through the interaction of dissolved taste molecules with taste buds. Taste is associated mainly with the tongue, although there are taste or gustatory receptors on the palate, epiglottis as well. In the surface of the tongue, there are bumps called papilla that contain taste buds. So that these taste buds are the receptor organs for sensing taste. The taste buds are mainly classified in two groups: glossal taste buds and the extraglossal taste buds. Glossal taste buds are found on the tops of fungiform papilla and on the sides walls of the foliate and circumvallate papilla. So again, based on their location, we divide the taste buds into glossal taste buds and in the extraglossal taste buds. Glossal taste buds are found on the tops of fungiform papilla and on the side walls of the foliate papilla and the circumvallate or the vallate papilla. And the extraglossal taste buds are found on the tonsillar pillars, palate, epiglottis, and the proximal esophagus. But note that these extraglossal taste buds are scattered around or over the tonsillar pillars, palate, epiglottis, and proximal esophagus, but they are not associated with papilla like glossal taste buds. Again, on the tongue, there are four types of papilla, which are circumvallate, foliate, fungiform, and filiform. The last one does not contain taste bud. The circumvallate papilla form a V, letter V, on the posterior surface of the tongue. The foliate papilla located along the lateral surface of the tongue, and the fungiform papillae located over the flat surface of the tongue. There are also filiform papilla, which are arranged parallel to circumvallate papilla, but they contain no taste buds. Of course, there are extraglossal taste buds. They are located outside the dorsum of the tongue, so they are not associated with the papilla. So they are scattered taste buds over the tonsillar pillars, palate, epiglottis, and proximal esophagus. These are the circumvallate papillae. Here are the foliate papillae. These are the fungiform papillae. So the taste buds are associated with fungiform, foliate, and circumvallate papilla, not with the filiform papilla. This is a circumvallate papilla. On the sides of the circumvallate papilla, you see the taste buds. This is an enlarged section of a circumvallate papilla to see the taste bud. Now we're gonna look at this taste bud in detail after magnifying it. In the taste bud, there are gustatory receptor cell, there are supporting cell, and there are also basal cells. And this taste bud is surrounded by a stratified squamous epithelium. The supporting cells support and nourish the gustatory receptor cell, and when this gustatory receptor cell die, they are replaced by this basal cell. Okay, now let's look at the anatomy of a taste bud. What you see here is a taste bud. Taste bud made of 3 types of epithelial cells: the supporting cells, gustatory receptor cells, and the basal cells. And about 50 gustatory cells per taste bud are present. Each one has a gustatory hair that projects through the taste pore. This is the taste pore here. These are the gustatory receptor cell. Gustatory receptor cell. Here you see their cilia. And these are the supporting cells. And there are also basal cells, which are here. Taste buds are found in the papillae, well, if they are the glossal buds, but they are also found in the different places of the oral cavity that we have just talked about. 3 types of papilla, which are vellate or the circumvallate, fungiform, and defoliate. The taste bud is a flask-shaped structure, contains 50 to 100 epithelial cells. The basal cells are dynamic cells which replace the gustatory cells when they die. And the taste cells or the gustatory cells have a microvilli, or the gustatory hairs that project through a taste pore to the surface of the epithelium. There are around 3 to 10,000 taste buds in an adult, but the children have more taste buds than the adults. And the taste receptors are epithelial cells able to regenerate every 10 to 15 days. Beyond age of 45, taste buds start to degenerate and taste becomes less critical as smell. Okay, this is a taste bud. These are the basal cells. These are the gustatory or the taste cells, taste cells and the supporting cells. Again, this is a taste bud. These are the supporting cells, gustatory or the taste cell, and these are the terminal ends of the nerves innervating the or getting signals or collecting signals from the taste bud. So the receptors for the taste are modified epithelial cells present in taste buds located on the tongue, roof of the mouth, and the pharynx. Now here, each color represents a different taste modality. For example, these are receptors. So each distinct taste has a separate group of taste receptors, which each group sending its impulses along a distinct line or neural pathway to the primary taste cortex or the gustatory cortex. So here, this represents the bitter. These receptors detect the bitter taste. This detects the salty. This detects the sweet taste sensations, and so on. Well, what are the primary taste sensations? Well, there are 5 primary taste sensations, which are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. And there is also water taste. Taste sensitivity shows significant individual differences, some of which are inherited. The number of taste buds decrease with age. Okay, primary taste sensations are sweet. We get the sweet taste sensation from sugars, saccharin, alcohol, and some amino acids. We get salty taste from metal ions. We get sour taste sensation from acids and hydrogen ions. We get bitter taste from alkaloids such as quinine and the nicotine. We get the umami taste sensation. This is a savory fat or amino acids, glutamate and aspartate. This is a recently defined taste sensation. This taste sensation, we feel it after eating a nicely ripe fruit or well-cooked meat. Taste sensation remains in our mouth for a while, and we really like it. That is the umami. Okay, if we look at the distribution of taste sensations on the tongue, we see certain sides of the tongue receive or detect certain taste modalities better. But note that entire of the tongue receive all 5 types of, or can detect all 5 types of taste sensations. But certain areas of the tongue are more specialized, more sensitive to the certain taste sensations. For example, sweet and salty buds are located on the tip of the tongue in this area. So through this area, through the tip of the tongue, we can detect salty and sweet taste sensations better. And sour sensation is detected mostly through the lateral sides of the tongue. And bitter taste sensation is detected mostly through the posterior tongue and soft palate. But it doesn't mean we do not receive bitter sensation through other parts of the tongue at all. We do receive bitter sensation from other parts of our tongue, but the posterior tongue and soft palate is the most sensitive size for the bitter taste sensation. Okay, again, there are 3 cranial nerves that receive taste sensation from the tongue and other parts of the oral cavity. These nerves are the facial nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, and the vagus nerve. Here is again, this area detects the sweet mostly through the tip of the tongue. These areas of the tongue, mostly lateral sides of the tongue, receive salty sensation, and the posterior part and the epiglottis receives bitter taste sensation. There is a very close relation between the smell and the taste. The better we smell, the better we taste. So the taste is 80% smell. And the thermoreceptors, mechanoreceptors, nociceptors in the mouth also influence tastes, temperature, and texture, enhance or detract from the taste. For example, if there is a aft or lesion in our mouth or pain in our mouth, we cannot really taste well. Okay, now let's look at the taste pathways here. There are 3 cranial nerves which receive taste sensation from our mouth, mainly from the tongue and some other sides of the oral cavity. Now look at here, this is the facial nerve. Facial nerve receives taste sensation from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. The cell bodies of the nerve fibers receiving taste sensations from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue reside inside the geniculate ganglion. Now, the glossopharyngeal nerve receives taste sensation from the posterior 1/3 of the tongue. And the cell bodies of the neurons receiving taste sensation from the posterior 1/3 of the tongue reside inside the petrosal ganglion of the glossopharyngeal nerve. And the vagus nerve receives taste sensation from the posterior aspect of the mouth, mainly palate, epiglottis, and the root of the tongue and upper esophagus. The nerve fibers receiving taste sensation from posterior aspect of the mouth, their cell bodies are found in the nodose ganglion of the glossopharyngeal, nodose ganglion of the vagus nerve here. Now, the central processes of the neurons found in the geniculate ganglion, petrosal ganglion, and nodose ganglion, their central processes terminate in the solitary nucleus on the anterior part of the solitary nucleus. The anterior part of the solitary nucleus is called gustatory area or the gustatory nucleus. Now, if we divide this gustatory area in three, the neurons receiving taste sensation from anterior two-thirds of the tongue, their central processes terminate in anterior one-third of the gustatory nucleus or the area. And the axons of the neurons receiving taste sensations from the posterior one-third of the tongue synapse in the middle third of the gustatory area or the gustatory nucleus. And the neurons that receiving taste sensation from posterior aspect of the mouth, their central processes terminate in the posterior one-third of the gustatory area or the nucleus. In other words, primary neurons for the taste pathways are found in the geniculate ganglion, petrosal ganglion, and the nodose ganglion. Geniculate ganglion of facial nerve, petrosal ganglion of glossopharyngeal nerve, and the nodose ganglion of vagus nerve. Inside the gustatory area or nucleus, there are the secondary or second order neurons of the taste pathways. Again, this is the nucleus of solitary tract. Its anterior part is called the gustatory nucleus. Gustatory nucleus. Okay, now inside the gustatory nucleus, there are the secondary neurons of the taste pathways, and the axons of the secondary neurons come together and terminate in the thalamus here. In the thalamus, then they terminate in the third order neurons or the tertiary neurons are found in the thalamus, and their axons terminate in the primary gustatory cortex. So the taste buds are monitored by cranial nerves, synapses within the solitary nucleus of the medulla oblongata, then onto the thalamus and the primary sensory cortex. Now, the primary gustatory cortex is a brain structure responsible for the perception of taste. It consists of two substructures: the anterior insula on the insular lobe and the frontal operculum on the inferior frontal gyrus of the frontal lobe. If we summarize the taste pathways, we can do it this way. So the taste impulses travel through nerves, cranial nerves 7, 9, and 10 to a gustatory nucleus in the medulla oblongata, and the axons of the secondary neurons terminate in the thalamus. In the thalamus, in the VPM of the thalamus, the axons of the tertiary neurons or the third order neurons terminate in the gustatory cortex located in the parietal lobe in the mouth area. Okay, this area here. Again, here is the primary gustatory area, which is a brain structure responsible for the perception of the taste. It consists of two substructures: the anterior insula on the insular lobe and the frontal operculum on the inferior frontal gyrus of the frontal lobe.